Today's video is presented by Notes and Clips. Stick around for a special Destiny 2 offer. Travis Northup of IGN's absolutely glowing review of Destiny 2's The Witch Queen expansion wrote, "If you don't already know how to play Destiny 2, the odds of you figuring out with a very kind and patient friend as a guide are infinitesimally small. I was lucky to have that kind and patient friend. This is my brother-in-law, an all-round titan of titans, Rob. There are many high-level restarting videos out there, but I felt like they were talking quantum physics while I needed answers to basic middle school level gameplay questions. Today, we are going to do a step-by-step checklist and Q&A of what you need to do to get restarted in Destiny 2 with relevant, to-the-point answers to every mechanic in the simplest, beginners-friendly way possible. Hell, even I understood what Rob was saying. Keybinds. While gear in Destiny 2 gives you an additive bonus, your skill is the force multiplier. So hopefully maybe you've been off playing other stuff. If so, let's pull what you've learned back into Destiny 2 and help you hit the ground running. If you've not been playing anything at all, this still counts. My suggested binds are designed to be as simple and ergonomic for you as possible. First, if you're on mouse, you want to make sure that the look and the aim down sight sensitivity feels good. Head to the Cosmodrome maybe to check those out. There are 3 categories of binds in Destiny 2. Common. These are my binds here. If you're not doing WASD, then you are so far off my reservation that I just cannot help you. But the principle is that you want to look for keys that are around WASD that don't require you to use the same finger while doing 2 things. What do I mean? For example, my finisher is Z or Z. I'm only ever charging towards someone with W to do a finisher, which means I don't need my ring finger over A, so I can slide it down to Z. I use F5 for abort or return to orbit because that's my quick save key. I can find that pretty easily. I also don't use my mic, so good luck with that. Character. There's so much long running in Destiny 2 that I like to use toggle to sprint. Shift is used by pretty much everyone. Now here's another thing I want you to think about. I'm not ever jumping and crouching or sliding at the same time. So I wanted a key for crouching that also uses my thumb to crouch. I went with Alt. Now almost every game is a power button. I put my class ability as E. Now, one of my favorite Destiny 2 content creators is falloutplays. I was watching his video about why you should start replaying Destiny. My video here is about how to start replaying. But while I was watching, I noticed this. Is falloutplays doing Pantheon, a raid boss gauntlet, and his interact key is P? Does he have like Alt and page down to shoot his gun, F1 and square brackets to throw a grenade? Are the dude's hands like a concert pianist's? I hope not. What I think is happening is he's rebound his mouse to keys that he'll never use. In my case, I have an MMO mouse with like 12 buttons, but I'll be honest, I only ever use 6. My top left is to switch to primary weapons, middle is energy, and with my power being the 3rd button. I'll also keep the numbers there for my wife to keep playing my character, but I want to really ask you to reconsider using the number keys as you have to stop moving forward to then change your weapons. On the row under for my mouse, if you play a Souls-like game, I recommend you bind air dash to whatever key you use for dodging. For me, it's the 4th button. The middle button is for my grenade, and final button is super. This way, I can do all these moves while still moving. If you do not have a mouse with this many buttons, then I suggest you look for keys around. You've got X's and C's also that you can use. As for your Sparrow, I pretty much just use my default keys. Remember, press Tab and hold down F to get onto your Sparrow. Tab is your ghost and your heads-up display. And as you can see, I use all my F keys for menus. F1 is for my character, F2 for my map, F3 for my menu, etc. This way I can access all my menus without moving my hand too far from WASD. To optimize this, you could really put character to caps lock to make fast loadout changes. In fact, I might go do that now. But I use caps lock for heal in other games. Remember that Destiny 2 is a bunch of hold to acknowledge stuff and you should be good to go. That's Keybinds. And now let's get on to Dim. While Destiny 2 has vastly improved its loadout system, you are still going to need to use Destiny Item Manager if you still want to swap out items on the fly. So let's go. Destiny Item Manager, there it is already for me. You're going to click on the top result that you're going to get. You're going to click Launch Dim, Authorize with bungie.net. You may get a question to authorize your platform. We'll click on Destiny 2. In my case, it was Steam. It seems to have remembered it because of the cookies. And off you go. There's your dim, and you can just simply drag and drop anything that you don't want in your loadout and pull it across. Absolutely essential for swapping items in and out while you are already actively on a mission. All right, dim and keybinds done. You are ready to roll. Hopefully you're in orbit. Rob, help us. What in Zavala's jockstrap do we do first?
I would do Ikora first. She will give you a complete but not exceptional starter build that gets you up and running fast. She gives you a couple of fragments, a few aspects, a couple of unlocked grenades and jumps and barricades and all those kind of different class abilities. And it's a fairly solid starter build. She also hands out some exotic quests, which do have synergies with those builds. So you now got a build. Now head over to Shaxx in the Champions Hall, speak to Shaxx, then go and pick up all your 1810 armor and weapons. So it brings you up to level.
What do you recommend people do with that 1810 gear? Hold on to it or start upgrading?
If you already have an abundance of materials, then just upgrade it. So infuse it into your existing good build stuff. But if you have nothing, just wear it.
So you got your new armor. You're going to open it up. You're going to look at it. You're either going to have a bunch of stuff that you've got yourself, or you're going to have new armor. I remember you telling me there's a number on armor that's good and another number that's ideal.
When you're just starting out, any armor piece over 60, hold on to. And then once you've got a lot, once you started farming, anything over 60 is a potential candidate. And bear in mind, anything over 60 with a distribution in the right areas.
So right now, the meta is resilience, right? You want to try and get your resilience to 100. 120 doesn't matter. You just got to hit 100, right?
That's waste. So you're wasting 20 points. You're wasting 2 tiers of something else.
But especially the stuff you get from Shaxx, don't unlock any extra slots right now. Just put resilience in all your slots. And
I definitely wouldn't spend high value materials on. So level up to 5 or 6 if it lets you slot in a couple of mods that are useful. But don't take it 8, 9, 10 where you need to start spending prisms. Not until you get that 66 roll or 64 roll with a great resilience or something that's really good.
If they have some slots left over,
honestly, wouldn't be prescribing specific ones at this point. You can say that heavy ammo finder and scout will always go down well with your fire team, but otherwise just acknowledge that there are different mods for different situations, and that comes down to the build. So when you go into dim and dim is reading your vault of all the weapons that are in there at the moment, and you're trying to put together that double 100 or triple 100 build, you're going to need to use mods for some of those triple 100s or even your double 100s, and it will tell you which armor pieces is the most efficient combination to get there. So let's say you've moved on from Ikora, and then you've gone for an aztecross video or a Mactix video or whoever. They will tell you not just the aspects and fragments, but the mods to use to support that gameplay loop.
Right now, just get your resilience to 100. Should they be leveling up a ghost? Is that worth?
Yeah, level up a ghost to 6 at least. And that lets you slot the blinding light. It'll increase XP gains by like 12%.
Is it worth then having enough slots to put the discipline mod in?
To be honest, if you're going on a grind for armor, you'd unslot blinding light and then you'd slot in the discipline one. Even better, you'd have 2 different ghosts. And you'd just switch between them.
Must be nice. I only have 1 ghost. For the day I've started playing, 1 ghost.
You can pull them from collections.
I don't know. I have hundreds of ghosts. Like, they're all there. I just haven't leveled any of them up. They're not worth, for me, burning the Ascendant Shard on to get them to 10. So I just have one little guy and I just swap out whatever is on him at the time.
Right.
I don't have the resources to afford that convenience. All right, you're at light level now. Grab some bounties from Shaxx right here. Go get some bounties from Zavala and Gunsmith in the tower. Then go do a strike. Maybe you'll remember something. Then go do a 10-round onslaught. Then, once you've limbered up, here's what you should do next.
To get back into the season, the meat of it is that you need to put together 1, 2, 3 builds that are fairly neutral, not fragile. So put together like a couple of builds for a couple of different elements and pair those with some weapons that you're comfortable with. So just get a couple of fallback positions. For me as a Titan, I've got like a strand build and I've got a solar build, and those 2 will see me through 98% of the game. So a couple of those that are fairly broad in their capability. They're fairly powerful because I've unlocked most of the mods and I've got some good weapons to go with them. And they lean into some aspects and fragments that do useful things.
Weapons. Just a quick PSA that if you think this is helping, chucking the video a like and sending it to someone else who is a Guardian on Ice would be absolutely fantastic. If you'd like to subscribe for our next video where we'll build on what we've learned here, this is going to be an ongoing checklist designed to really simplify all this incredibly complicated information and onboard and optimize you. Now, back to Rob.
So you've gone into the game, you've gone to speak to Ikora, so you've got to build. You've gone to Shaxx, and you picked up the chest next to him and you leveled everything up, you now have the choice of what weapons you go after. So the three places you'd go for weapons, so ignore the exotic armor, the three places you go for, so one is Arsight and do Onslaught.
How do you go about doing that?
So if you turn to the right, Arsight will give you weapon quests for all of these reprised weapons that were absolute ballers in their day and now come with random rolls. If you complete the quest, you will get a guaranteed shiny for each of those weapons, which is just like slightly enhanced. And it gives you the chance to go and farm them in Onslaught.
Which ones do you think people should do?
So the main Arsight quests that I would recommend are going to be Forbearance, which will then enable you to grind for a random roll that includes chain reaction. That's what you're really looking for in Forbearance. Hammerhead. And the reason I say Hammerhead is because the shiny that it gives you is actually one of the best fixed rewards from completing an Arsight request, because the roll that comes on the shiny Hammerhead is killing tally and 4th times the charm, which is pretty good.
There are 2 grenade launcher quests that I was able to do at the same time. There's Forbearance and Mountaintop. I ended up doing both of those at the same time.
If you don't know how to get that surety checkpoint or can't get it, you can also go to the opening encounter in the dungeon Grasp of Avarice, because there's unlimited ad spawn there. But in order, I would do probably the 2 grenade launchers. I would do Hammerhead. I would do Recluse, and then I would do Falling Guillotine Sword. If you're really into PvP, then I would also do Blast Furnace.
Let's talk very briefly about Onslaught. What should someone be doing to prepare for Onslaught if they want to actually farm these weapons? What is it? How does it work? Any quick tips?
Yeah, so just do the Arsight quests so you can then focus. So then you're getting the weapon drops from Onslaught that you're particularly interested in. And then put together like any kind of half decent build that suits your playstyle. Bear in mind, you could be going in match made. You're probably going in match made. There are certain classes that work pretty well. Hunter Tether, for example, is very useful because there's a lot of bottlenecks in certain places on all the maps. And what a lot of people do if they're really min-maxing is they will have one build for the ad clear waves and then have a different build for the boss phase.
Whoa, they actually swapping between them on the fly?
Yes. Yeah. If you ever will go and watch like a speed run, you'll see people swapping builds halfway through an encounter. Let me send you one that will blow your mind, which is the most build changes that I've ever seen in a speed run. But you could decide you don't want any of those weapons, and instead you're going to go and do red border farming, or go to now every day you can get 1 red border on each of the 4 seasons every day just by playing one activity, which makes a mockery of the people who grind it out, right?
Wow. Can you explain how the previous system works and how it works now?
The red borders have always dropped at random, right? So you get 5 red borders, you extract the patterns, and then you can go and craft one, and then you can level that up, and then you can put enhanced perks on it. So that's why people do weapon crafting, and we're looking for red borders. Because it means you can build the gun you want. For each of the seasons, there were always ways of getting engrams for that season, which you could then focus on weapons for that season. And some of those would have a slightly higher random chance of being a red border. And then with that seasonal vendor, you could usually unlock the ability to get 1 or 2 guaranteed red borders per week, but only if you ground it out. So it was fairly slow. It would usually take you probably a good half of the season to basically finish the weapon patterns for that season. Now, obviously, once you unlock the vendor perk, that gives you one a week. All you have to do is literally log in for a couple of minutes and you can go and click a button and then you'd get the red border. And that's what some people did. So there wasn't an awful lot of grind, but you have to front load the grind. But what they've just done as of a week ago is they just said, look, just play the activity once and we'll literally throw a red border at you. And that's for each of the 4 seasons that have been released in the last year.
Oh, wow. So which guns do you recommend that people get? Go
from the seasonal ones, there's a few key ones. So there's a site called engram.blue, and that will tell you what weapon patterns there are. And then you can link your account to like dim in a way. It will then read and tell you how many of each pattern you've got. There's 4 seasons. So in order to get the weapon drops for each season, you have to go to somewhere in the helm and pick up the seasonal artifacts. So if you identify from, let's say, Season of the Wish, so you would go and pick up the Queen's Full Censer, You do the intro mission, and then you just run coil activities every day.
Got it.
And then every day you log in, the first time you complete one of those coil runs, they will throw a red border at you. And at the same time, you'll be collecting engrams for that season and potentially getting random drops as well. The first time you do all 4 passes through the coil, I think they throw another red border at you then as well.
Can you remember off the top of your head for, say, Season of the Witch and Season of the Deep, which weapons are worth?
Let's start at the oldest. Season of Defiance. So to be honest, only Regnant, which is a heavy grenade launcher from Season of Defiance. From Season of the Deep, none of them really jump out at me. From Season of the Witch, there was a fusion rifle called the Eremite that was meant to be pretty good. From this Season of the Wish, you've got not just the seasonal ones, but also Season of the Undying weapons from one of the very early Witch Keep seasons. They've reprised them. There's a FMG that's pretty good. And then also, I would look Doomed Petitioner and probably Scatter Signal.
The red borders and crafting. What is it? How does it work? What should I be doing?
Okay, certain weapons are designated as craftable. The whole reason for having craftable weapons is so that you don't necessarily have to rely on random rolls. You can craft a weapon with exactly the perks that you want that suit your playstyle or the activity, whether it's PvE or PvP, or whether it's boss fighting, or whether it's ad clearing, or whether it's run-of-the-mill stuff or what have you. At random, certain weapons that have red borders around them in the inventory, and those red borders denote that inside that weapon screen, there's one of the little boxes where it says you can extract the pattern. That happens automatically if you dismantle a weapon, so you don't lose it. So a lot of people don't even bother extracting it. They just dismantle a weapon. Usually once you've dismantled between 3 and 5 of them, and it's usually 5, there's only a few that are 3, you then completely unlock the pattern. Dismantle 5 red borders of that weapon type, you get the pattern. You can then go to the foundry on Mars, which is accessing through 17th Throne World, and then you can create your first iteration of that weapon with very limited rolls. So there's not very many perks available. Once you've got that weapon, you don't have to dismantle it. You can reshape it with new and updated perks as they become unlocked as you level it. But bear in mind, you can now level it by paying Glimmer. You don't have to use it.
Is there a resource or a site that I can go to that would, what are the roles that I'm looking for? What should I be doing?
Honestly, I literally Google, what is the god roll for craftable, whatever it is. And then I'll read 2 or 3 different sites and then have a look at what different sites recommend is the god roll. And then I'll pick and choose amongst them. And then the third one is exotics. So you definitely want to be going for Whisper, for Wishkeeper, for Dead Messenger, Revision 0.
So here's the recap of everything you need to do again in order. And also go do the Memoriam mission to find out what happened to Cade 6. So what do you want to do? Farm Onslaught for our site, craft seasonal weapons, do Whisper of the Worm and the Outbreak Perfected Exotic mission. If we get time, we'll do a last minute advice for Final Shape, but you should know that getting your Guardian into shape, see what I did there, is the most important thing that you can do right now. I want to say a huge thank you to Rob for breaking all this down. Honestly, I don't know what I'd do without you, man, and I hope I can extend your generosity to everyone else here watching. If you found this valuable, please chuck us a like. If you're between fight teams, feel free to check out all the other essays on other games and superhero movies that I've got. If you want to subscribe, we'll keep this Destiny 2 journey going and dump what you need to know in the simplest way possible each video. But the best way to thank Rob is to stick around for a minute. But first, a huge thank you to you for watching my video. There are 2 reasons why me, a comic book writer and artist, has partnered with Notes and Clips, a stationery company. 1, they make great stuff. And 2, Rob, the panel's Destiny 2 guru, is the co-founder and fulfillment officer for Notes and Clips. So if you're looking for a present for yourself or for someone else that is actually made by an honest-to-traveler Destiny 2 gamer, then look no further than Notes and Clips, my fellow Guardian. Notes and Clips are a small family fire team designing, selecting, sourcing, and most importantly, personally handcrafting fantastic stationery, organizational stickers, and pens. Notes and Clips is just the perfect present for anyone you know, like buying someone an exotic engram, IRL. Let me show you their awesome stuff. You've got these awesome stickers that are so much fun for someone younger, while these stickers are perfect for someone just trying to survive being an adult, or maybe who's getting married. I honestly believe that all big events should be planned for with these planner journals and these stickers. That way you'll not only have the amazing memory of the event, but you'll have a beautiful journey to remember it by. And these stationery boxes are perfect for birthdays, end of year holidays, or just plain saying thank you on Mother's Day, Father's Day, or heck, even for that fireteam leader that watched you flail against a wall for 40 minutes on Whisper of the Worm. Thank you, Rob. Notes and clips have almost 30,000 missions under their belt and around 6,000 reviews that would make even Cade 6 blush. Rob will get your order and will personally transmit it to you. How soon depends on what you ordered and where it's going. Here's the breakdown from this side. Buy someone you know something nice and know that you're supporting a fellow Destiny 2 player and their family at the same time. I don't care how many times Rob hauls me through Vault of Glass trying to get me Vex Mythic class. I still don't have it, Rob. I am an artist and I have a rep, and I'll put it all on the line and say the quality is so flat out incredible that Ada's Loom will be jealous. Meanwhile, the price is quite frankly a steal. And if you use the code BADOWER25, you'll get the largest current site-wide discount. That is Rob's and my shout out to a fellow Guardian. Notes and clips are your go-to gamer present for non-gamers, like a stealth gamer present. But you'll know, I'll know, but they won't. Thank you, Rob, and Notes and Clips for all your support.